when 50 Shades, when your franchise, your potential ginormous franchise, which indeed became a ginormous billion-dollar franchise, came around, you knew the baggage that was going to be there, for good or for bad. You knew there was a built-in audience and it was probably going to do huge. It was also going to probably, and indeed was, savaged by a lot of critics.
Yeah.
Was there a tremendous amount of ambivalence? Like, were people around you, were your friends and family and agents all like, you got to do this if the opportunity comes, or was it a big kind of debate within your circle?
It wasn't an instant yes, by any means. For all of the reasons you've just said, it needed to be talked through. I sought counsel from friends, family, a lot of actors.
What did Garfield say? Let's go down the list. What did Redmayne?
He was too busy just swinging around New York, I think, at that time with his little web hand. But it's nice to have people like that close in your life who will have an opinion and one that I think is expert almost. I sort of nearly did it and then didn't get it.
Right.
And I've said this before, that when I didn't get it, I felt a bit of relief, because I was like, Jesus, that guy, poor guy, he's going to get wrecked here. And then he maybe felt the same. And then suddenly there it was, and but with way less time to make a decision.
Yeah.
I got cast 5 weeks before we started shooting, and my wife was 34 weeks pregnant, and we had a lot of massive decisions to make very quickly. It was a crazy time now when I think about it. But yeah, you're right. Look, I knew because I'd thought about it before when I nearly got it the first time when Charlie got it. I knew that it came with all that baggage, as you say, and that the reality was it was going to make a ton of money and fans were going to love it and the critics were going to despise it, because that's exactly what happened with the books, and that's what we were making. We weren't going, well, the books are a bit of a template, but we're going to do this whole different thing and change a lot of stuff about the book. We were staying very truthful to the books, so we knew what that was going to be. But I think movies that are made for the fans, that the fans love, can only be seen as a success, really, and I'm really grateful that both Dakota and I have, despite some pretty rough stuff said about us, probably particularly me, we've managed to come out and we're still making work that people really like. And I've had some of those sort of said critics do a bit of a 180, and particularly in the last few weeks, because I've had this show in the UK that's come out and been a massive success called The Tourist that will come to the States pretty soon. And I had a nice moment where you were talking about like friends and family saying stuff and people say it's a mistake. When I got cast in 50 Shades, The Fall had come out, got a great reception, being nominated for a BAFTA, all this great stuff had happened. And then they announced that I did 50 Shades. There was a journalist in The Guardian, was a big paper in the UK, called Lucy Mangan, who wrote a whole article about what a terrible career choice I'd made. This before I'd even shot the thing. I'm there thinking, Jesus, right, okay, so that's the general vibe, Anyway, Lucy Mangan wrote a piece last week about how it's all sort of, not that she got it wrong or whatever, but because of Belfast and The Tourist,
sure,
she liked them both, and maybe it wasn't all the stupidest move in the world and blah, blah, blah. Which I did have a nice little moment reading that article, I have to say. Because as much as you think you don't care, you kind of do. You kind of do care.
Well, and you feel it. I'm sure you feel it, whether you're actively seeking out the reviews or not. You feel the general.
Yeah, well, I went through a phase of really actively seeking them out. And actually, I once found this thing where someone had put all the worst things said about me from the first 50 Shades movie into a neat little Instagram post.
Oh, how convenient. Just
what am I doing? What? And I would look at it all the time. I agreed with a lot of it. That's a sad thing.